Welcome back, everyone. Felt like getting another stream in this morning. Kind of getting into the swing of it. Man, getting on top of those morning jobs, wash bottles, change the babies, put one back to bed. So I'm back. I'm gonna do what I did last night basically and do my level 50s, see where that takes me, and I'm going to read. Hi. Look, it's a movie. Yeah, that's one way to... I might use that actually. At some point I might just play with the Wing Riders. Some of the effects like that Memento tower would be a simple thing to just record and slap over a music video. I don't know why the chat's so bugged though. It's like you have to reload it every time. No drop frames, higher bit rates, everything's good. Seems to run better in the morning than late at night, or at least at the moment. Anyway, I can on-off desktop like that. Let's get straight to it while I'm flying around. I'm not sure if you can read this as clearly as I can, but I'm going to read it. I haven't read this yet and I'm doing it full fury. Because he's going to post this guide soon. It's pretty interesting. Going to be like a super in-depth, no detail missed kind of guide for new players. So, race and job overview. There are 4 races to choose from. Straight to the point. Turan, Bartak, Cruxian, okay, this is where you're going to learn that I don't necessarily know how things are spoken. Cruxian. And I don't know what I call them. Cruxina. Zenoa. Each race has a melee physical damage and magic elemental damage class to choose from. Pretty much. You got a melee class and a magic class for all the races. But there are a few grey areas. Commonly referred to as their first job. There are also subclasses which would be a race's second job. Let me read that over again. There are also subclasses which would be... that's just a small grammatical, can be fixed up theory. There are also subclasses which are a race's second job. These would be more specialized versions of the first job. These are specialized versions of the first job, maybe. There's a little bit of clarity in those sentences that could be achieved. In total, there are 4 races, 8 first jobs, and 16 second jobs. Good to put that in there. Requiem's classes are not all created equally, and that does change from time to time with the occasional nerf, or new skill, or something like that. Or even something simple like a monster being added to the game and the Avengers can go grab it and suddenly Avengers are OP class. Player versus... there's big differences in the PvE and PvP environments for characters, so that's important to take into account when making a character. There are pros and cons to each job, but if you're brand new to the game, I highly recommend you play a magic class. Oh, okay. Come on. What are you doing? Up. Oh, come here, eh? A pretzel? You want to read this with Dad? Okay. Look, I'm reading. Like a book. Do I have a book? Everybody know Bluey? Yeah, Bluey. You turn the pages to your heart's content, okay? There are pros and cons to each job. If you're brand new to the game, I highly recommend playing a magic class as your main character to begin with. I might add a few words here and there, Fury. After you level up to a point where you can get gear for another job you want to play, then I would recommend trying out melee class. Melee in this game is, if you prefer that playstyle, melee in this game is geared more towards gear ED, more towards a PvP play style. Yeah, that is mostly true. There are two main reasons I recommend playing a magic class. Several of the magic classes' second jobs get a ground AoE skill which annihilates enemies significantly faster. He's not wrong, it's literally like multiplying your character. A melee character hits once. When you put a ground AoE down, that's like it hits on its own every second or a second and a half or something like that. So if you've got 2 or 3 of these ground AoEs, you're hitting your enemy like up to 4 times at once with your skills. That's not the only reason though. Mages tend to get a much higher damage from SCAD. It's hard to explain, but the SCAD mixed with magic damage, mixed with property damage, mixed with the resistance system, versus like block and evasion and things like that, or block, evasion and defense for melee and how they get mitigated. Melee just pop the worst end of the stick when it comes to the amount of damage that they can deal. And there's a little bit of, they've tried to address that issue. If you look at like legendary weapons later, like you can get like 5,000 damage, which is like the highest, like just straight up damage on like a 2-handed sword or something like that. Whereas mages, they don't exactly just get 5,000 magic damage. But a lot of melee characters who want to do something cool, it's not AA that they're going for, it's SS, and then it becomes a huge mess. Let's get back to reading. It's going to take me too long if I don't focus on it. The melee classes do not have self-heals like all magic classes, with the exception being Protector and Berserker. I think there are a few small cases. There are a few ways around that problem, but that's more for a melee-focused guide. Like if you're going to be melee, here's how you really play melee, kind of thing. Maybe I could do a guide like that. Actually, I probably should do a guide like that. So, you want to get down? You want a pretzel? New page? You close the book. You hold the book. A pretzel? Put it there. Stuffed on? Nah. Okay. Can Dad have some coffee? We're all coming down with colds. Let's check the chat. I didn't know you were here. Welcome, Fury. Do you want to try unfollowing me and following me and see what happens? I wonder if it'll, like, treat you as a spammer or... Huh? There you go. It's over there now. Now what? High five? Yeah. You just want to play on that keyboard, don't you? You want to play with the keyboard? You're going to stand up. And sit down. Good. Nice and safe. You play? Let's see, what else can I give you to play with? There you go. Play the imaginary Spyro. Okay, I was thinking about heals. I think it would be valuable to do a this is how you play melee in PvE, but like so if you were to solo the game with I don't know. I plan to do something about that one day, so I won't talk about that further. Protector, Berserker, Druid is awkwardly like a mage and a melee character. Avenger can grab pets that can heal you, but it's not very significant. Then there's Event for Life and stuff like that. There's a few ways to heal, but not significant. So yeah, generally speaking, just those two classes. Thurans, race description. Thurans are essentially the politically leading race of Thergia and are excellent choice. The more diplomatic race of Thergia or something like that. I know from the lore that they're a little bit more on the diplomatic side, trying to like bring everyone together. Whereas the Zenora are still like the leading like political party kind of thing, but they're also kind of they're bad people. They're a little bit on the racist side of things, or at least the majority of them, at least based on lore. Most excellent choice playstyle that is familiar to humans in other MMOs. They do appear like your general white dude. Their familiar jobs consist of, maybe just say their jobs consist of It makes more sense once I jump down to jobs, and it's just straight to the point. Anyway, which is referred to Protector and Healer role, Radiant. Ow, my bloods! This race is a good... Oh, you just want a pretzel. Healers are affected by magic damage and elemental light damage. All Tyrants will have Carlos as their possession base. You know, once upon a time they were actually talking about moving the PB so you could have any PB for any race. I think Helium talked about that in the first Murder Hour, or at least the second one. That's actually on YouTube. The first one's not there. That's it. You can play. You can pretend to play. But he wasn't too sure about it because he had no idea what kind of like balance issues there might be, and everybody might go 1 PB because it's just better than the rest of them. Strengths and weaknesses. There's more of a balance. They are more of a balanced race for melee and magic alike, but do branch out in their respective jobs. All jobs have good choices, and I would recommend this race's jobs to new players. True. They perform well in PvP as well. There are no collective weaknesses to this race. Yeah, I'd put them down as a pretty balanced, you know, you got the typical, you know, defensive roles, healing roles, damage roles. Everything sort of everything veers towards a particular role. So Protector, I know. What do you want? You want another pretzel? I've always got that AFK screen. We gotta go do something. Let's just keep going. Defender, physical, primarily uses one-handed weapons and shields, or a two-handed weapon for higher damage output. Typically the focal point in a fight using taunts to draw enemy aggression. Stat to focus on is Constitution for high hit point HP, and that'll also be HP recovery. Commander, this job is a better PvP variant. You can use mobility skills to quickly charge in and out of a fight, and avoid being stunned or slowed while charging the enemy's line, break them up, and stop magic classes such as Radiance from healing with hushes and debuffs. There is some AoE skills, but mainly single target focus damage. aka AA auto attack is typically the way. Strength stat is important for you want a piggy picky? Okay. Yeah, piggy picky. Strength stat is important for damage support. Yeah, because you're mostly AA. Melee AA damage. You've got... I had a flash thought of thinking about whether... Like, you know how in some games, mages, like, they don't use a weapon, like, they use a staff and they, like, have, like, bolts, and that's their AA, and it's all magic-based instead of having any kind of melee skill. Anyway. So yeah, strength gives you the damage, and it gives you the critical additional damage, so it's just strength, 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 maybe some constitution. You don't want? You just want to put them in, take them and put them back. I'm not giving you the whole packet. No packet, not the whole packet. How about soft coin? Yeah. There you go. Oh, don't do that. If you're gonna do that, you can't have it. Give it back. No! You're gonna get it all on my keyboard. No. You're a little terror. Pretzel. You don't know what you are. I think I need to put the aircon on. Where's my remote for that? Can I put you down for a minute? Emma's singing for you. Up. Wow. Oh, Emma. Emma. Okay. Blah blah blah, Commander, done. Protector, the tank role. This job is best in PvE setting. You will draw the aggression of enemies to yourself and will do your best to heal yourself as well as your party. You should only use a one-handed weapon with a shield, unless you're crazy. And damage reduction comes from the block defense. One stat will support your heals and would be better to focus on in a group playstyle over strength. The protector's damage is not important, your team will be your damage. Yes, to play Protector effectively as a Protector, unless you wanted to create a strange PvP variant, you would focus on Constitution, potentially Mind for healing. You could focus on like skill crit additional damage or something like that. Yeah, you mostly, the important thing is your heals. You get aggro from healing, so I dare say there's more potential aggro gain from your heals than there would be from your damage. So you definitely just want to focus entirely on that role. You could spec differently if you're soloing content in the game with your Protector. You might want to have more damage. You can still go strength, and you can still go melee, and you can still toss the shield and use a two-handed weapon. There is some two-handed additions to the game they added with the relaunch for the Defender class. I think you get a stun now in the Defender tree, so it's not impossible to utilize that a little bit better. Who knows, there might even be some game-breaking bug in there nobody's discovered yet. That was well written. I like Protector. Templar, the magic. I like that you've written it like that. Physical magic. Weapon of choice are wand and shield, staff or knuckles. Wand and shield for better survivability due to the block rate. Staff has higher damage output, typically. Unless you want to start talking about Doom Cheris's wand. Knuckles for extra HP but lower damage. A skill to immobilize enemies for up to 10 seconds. They've got a big stun. And they both get that between these two classes. You've starred the Tempest because it's good for a new player. Good choice for PvE and PvP. This is a strong... I can't hold tab. Let's check the chat. 20% pots. What about 20% pots? It was patched. You used to be able to unbind and trade PVs. I had Carlos on my Mystic for a long time. Oh, so they actually did that? Frozen up for a while for me. Oh. Is it alright now? I can't type because I unplugged the keyboard, but it would have been my frames they might have dropped because of an internet spike. Just ask my viewers in general. Hey! There it is. It disappeared. Let me know when you're back. I'm just gonna keep going for now. You probably don't need to hear my complete read through. Radiant, Tempest, okay. Good choice for both PvE PvP. This is a strong PvE class, has 3 ground AoEs. Excellent crowd control, 4 ground AoEs if you include the PB skill. This job rounds up enemies, puts them to sleep, and lays waste to them. It's a rinse-repeat strategy. You run around or fly around, or run around, ride around, or fly around, grabbing all the enemies in the area you can get within an aggro radius, and then you put them all to sleep so they don't hurt you, and then you throw all your AoEs down and they all die within seconds. And then you technically have the highest DPS output in the game if you're fully geared and spec'd, which means you can do some PvE nonsense where you get the guaranteed boss drop kill even if you're soloing and you're just adding your damage. It's extremely powerful. I wouldn't say it's the absolute best new class to play, but it's definitely I'd put it there as my number 2 for best noob classes to play. As far as I can tell, my bitrate's fine. I haven't dropped any frames. I'm not getting any reply from Fury. I've got 2 viewers, that's something. It's working for me, so I'm gonna keep going. Alright. If in a jam you need to escape, there's a teleport skill. It's pretty cool actually. It's very useful in the PvP style. You can get the drop on people, get behind people. The issue with the stun, and it's not an issue, it's totally fair. If it wasn't for this, the game would be broken and unfair. Is there's like a 1.5 second casting time on that stun, which is asleep, and there's another downside to it, which is if you hit someone who's asleep with your weapon in an AA attack, that cancels the sleep out. Hey bub. You all good? You want a pretzel? Pretzel? And maybe your... Oh, poor girl. You just like turning it off and on at the moment. Turn it on? Turn it on? Yeah! But then you turn it off and then you're like, it won't work. Turn it on? Okay. If in a jam, need to escape, teleport. This can sometimes work to your disadvantage. Leaving you in a wall or under the floor, yes. Or otherwise dropping you in the middle of like damage or a stun in its own right. Yeah, it's a complete YOLO. If you like if you like having that randomness, Tempest is the class for you. When you use that teleport, it'll always be a surprise. And you'll have to adapt fast on the spot. Intelligence and Constitution are the main stats to focus on. It's primarily because the other class can focus on its mana shield skill, the Radiant, whereas the Tempest actually need to focus on their HP. The downside to Tempest is they are really squishy and they have typically low HP. They need good gear to get their squishiness organized. Radiant is the healer role. This job is pretty self-explanatory. Talking about heals. Oh yes, the 20% pots. Yeah, I mean that's fair and all, but you can't use 20% pots all the time. You can't use them in FOC. You can't use them in a GVG. So they're not a very guaranteed heal. There are pots you can use in the earlier phases of the game. It's very valuable to use pots Because if you've only got like 5,000 HP and you can heal half of that with pots, that's really good. But later in the game, when you've got like 50,000 HP and the most HP you can gain is like 2,000 HP back from pots, that's a very small amount. That's like say 40,000 HP, 2,004 is math not working this morning. It's a low percentile of your HP, that's all. So it's not really worth it. You could use it, but you know, I used to use pots in like 69 FOC in the early relaunch because it's still valuable, even with my high HP as a warlord, which we'll get to later. The healer role, this job is pretty self-explanatory. They heal. They heal with instant heals, instant party heals, and wait, instant? By instant, I mean not over time. They don't have dot heals. Most classes have dot heals, whereas Radiant is focused more on like these big chunky heals, which is really important in raids because you need heals to be sudden and huge. What happened to it? Turn on. You go the wrong way. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Yep. Push down. Dad show? Down. Oh, yes. Do I have to do this? Are you ready?
Say something into the microphone.
Hey, Mary. What you doing? You're cute. Your turn. Ah. They do have some pretty useful tools like defense buff. So does the protector too. Going back to the protector, a lot of those buffs really make that class work with its shield. Oh, you keep turning it off. Frustratingly. They do have some useful tools. They can remove some negative buffs and dot skills. Their resurrection skill also. There's two classes. Two classes? Wait, the Mystic and the Forsaken? I think it's just the Mystic that has the resurrect, right? There's only two classes in the game, upper classes, that can do a resurrect, and the Radiant has like a guaranteed resurrect, whereas the Mystic has a starts at 50% chance. So a coin flip. La 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 la. Oh gosh. When leveling this job, they will either need a party or take a lot of attack-based skills. Constitution and Mind are the main stats. Or Intelligence. Intelligence still contributes to SCAD, and contributes to magic damage, which can all funnel back to heals. So I'm seeing Intelligence-based Radiants being made. But Mind is a good one as well. You can go either way. I would like to see a full Mind Radiant and a full Intelligence Radiant go at it and see who's better, or multiple different tasks. Bartarks. Bartarks are a powerful yet hideous race. Gee, thanks. Let's go back up here. Terrans are essentially more politically based. Are you that descriptive with the rest of these classes? I mean races? Oh, I'll forgive you. You want that, do you? It's not for you, but... Num num? You don't want it. Pretzel? I think if you can't see that, that'll be better. Man, I've so much rubbish up here. Pretzel? Num num? You don't want that either? Do I need to put you down for a nap? I know it's barely 10 o'clock. Alright. I will be right back, guys. Templar skill for 100%. Oh, it is a Templar skill, so they both have it? Is that the same with Shaman? Pretty sure. Whoa. I'm dropping frames really badly. Alright, I'll be up and down a little bit. It's not over yet. It's a little bit of a battle with the little one. That's okay, she needs a minute to work out exactly what she wants. So Bartaks. Bartaks are a powerful yet hideous race. They are always looking for a fight with the Turans or the Zenoas. But they especially loathe the Zenoas due to their brutal history. Considering the barbarians Considered to be the barbarians of other MMORPGs, the melee jobs are super strong and the magic jobs are like magic barbarians with how much damage they do. But their playstyle are some of the most versatile in the game. True. With excellent group play and solo builds from their jobs, you should definitely try out this race. Their elemental damage is fire. All Bartaks will have a Rufus as their possession beast. No new players take any of this too seriously, of course. I mean, like the histories and stuff like that. I don't think any players really use that as the basis for their roleplay. You're absolutely right. They're extremely versatile in just about everything they do. Strengths and weaknesses. There is no poor performing job within this race. Some are better for groups, while others are better for solo or PvP. There is also the most desirable job in the game, which is the Mystic. I agree with that. I also agree with the idea that the Shaman job is the best low class job. Just has the best range of single target magic spells, AoE magic spells, like not ground based AoEs, just AoEs in general, like the Fire Arrow, Soul Explosion. You can even use that Burning Hell pretty effectively once it's like level 3, level 4 in Ancient Temple while you're farming. Get up in levels. I don't use Burning Hell later, but that's just a quick fix when you get a skill reset. Gear can be quite expensive to obtain due to the high supply and demand. Yes, only downside to the Shaman is the high supply and demand for their gear. So all the best raid gear in the middle and late game is just a little bit harder to get your hands on, a little bit more expensive. But the same goes for just about everything magic related. But if you... I'll go check on her in a sec. If you make this good farming character... Actually, how's my... I don't want that. We'll just sit there for a while. My frames are okay. I had a small dropout earlier. So what was I talking about? So if you make this really good first character, farming character, you can farm more of that good stuff. And you could either make this shaman, this mystic of yours, as powerful as it can be, so you can continue to get lots of really good farm, do lots of really good raids. Trust me, half of a raid party in the end game is a mystic. So if you're a mystic, you'll never not be in a raid party. You'll be able to farm most of the game by yourself. You'll be able to solo/farm most of the game by yourself. So really good for just, you know, being alone in the game. Really good solo class. Probably the best solo class when it comes to clearing monsters at the same time. Like, time playing... If you want to play the game but not play the game a shit ton, play Mystic, because you'll be able to get the most done in a short period of time by yourself without having to multi-log or anything like that. Anyway. Okay, I am going to quickly read this. The jobs are all mostly excellent in the group. Berserker and Forsaker do not have party buffs to contribute to the group. However, a Berserker has a lot of debuffs for bosses, more defense debuffs, so does Warlord. In fact, you put both of them in a party with an Assassin and you're going to push those debuffs even further. You can really push the short-range defense down quite a bit, which does have potential to be better than a Mystic raid party. It could be a melee raid party, but I haven't seen it in practice, but there is a ton of debuffs for short-range defense across the game that can all be combined. I'd say Berserker and Forsaker are a little bit more PvP focused in the upper class jobs. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna leave the stream going. Okay, she's not screaming. Maybe she'll just have a little bit of quiet time and come back for another hour before truly going down for a nap. Okay, jobs. Warrior, the physical class of the Bartak race. Weapon of choice are two-handed weapons, mainly the sword. It really doesn't matter, but sword is generally the preference, not only because swords are your typical, cool kid's weapon. But the swords typically have the lower attack speed, which generally leads to proccing your enchant on your weapon more frequently, and just an overall higher DPS. Okay, she is screaming. Fine, I'll be right back. AFK screen, see if I can settle it down. I don't think she'll hang out in this room and be quiet though, so I'm not going to be able to do this for possibly 10 minutes, possibly longer. I'll be back. Alright. She looks tired. Very tired. Hopefully the twirly woos can keep her occupied a little longer and wear her out, but she really does look like she just needs to sleep. Okay. Berserker. Okay. Warrior. Weapon of choice. Two-handed weapons, mainly the sword. That's where I was up to. They can use just about any weapon, awkwardly enough. In the relaunch, they missed a few strings, and we can kind of use wands and staffs and knuckles and stuff like that. They did add knuckles to the two-handed build of Warrior when they first made that a thing. I was there. Now it's wands and staffs and everything. I personally do use knuckles with Warrior and Warlord. No, Callie, I don't want the extra right now. You can be after the stream. Berserker, excellent single target damage class, best in PvP settings. It does well as any versus any single target, so yeah, you can just smash everything one-on-one. Uses dashes to quickly get to their target, so does any warrior, but the Berserker has extras. They have small heals, which are applied while attacking. They can also boost their damage. Constitution and Strength are the two main stats focused on. I'd probably just mention that Berserker has debuffing skills, slows, lots of small stuns. Like their extra dash is a stun. They've got like something similar to a low blow where it slows you down, or shackles, that's what it's called. They've got some interesting buffs to make them more AA. They can increase their attack speed at a decrease to their defense, or was it evasion? One of the two. They've got two heal. They got like hyper mode, which is like a dot heal, and a speed increase. They've got an adamant mind. Berserker is the most over looked after class by the devs in the game. They've got way too much stuff. They should not have heals. Simple way to balance this class. They should not have heals. The only healing melee class should be the Protector, because they're a tank. A Berserker should not have heals. And then they would be not so ridiculously overpowered. Warlord. Balance between PvP and PvE. This is the best option for melee PvE job. They have many AoE skills and useful buffs like a HP party buff. They can also debuff their enemies to output more damage. Same with Berserker. They dash into the fight, they group stun, they root their enemies to the ground, they tear them up with AoEs. They have an AoE magic hush, which is extremely useful in PvP. Yep, any hushes or silences are for PvP. They don't do anything in raids. A lot of stuns don't work on most bosses too. Some, yes. Warlord has had a lot of nerfs over its years. Warlord has had a lot of nerfs, a few buffs here and there, and then mostly nerfs. A lot of people hate on Warlord because they can really stop combat and ruin what mages are trying to do in PvP. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that's called balance. That's balance to me. I'm not on the receiving end of that a lot. It is frustrating to get stunned. It's also frustrating when, you know, a Tempest gets in a sleep and then wipes your party, or a Defiler gets in a sticky trap and then wipes your party, or a Dominator has all these pets, or, you know, remember Avenger back when they used the Ruins of Lament boss and just had like stun, like tons of stuns. Stuns are annoying, and Warlords are really good at stunning everyone and changing the flow of battle, but that's what Warlord are for. I call them the line breaker class of the game. Warlord is my favorite class. Is the one that resonates with me the most. Should be obvious to my viewers. Now we'll leave it at that. Shaman, magic, weapon of choice, wand, shield, staff, knuckles. Constitution and strength. Strength are the two stats to focus on. Small word issue there. It should say constitution and intelligence, with mind being a secondary. Tertiary. Forsaker is balanced between PvP and PvE. This job has only one ground AoE. No party buffs. This job is great party support class for Mystics because of the resistance debuff. AKA, you only want one Forsaker in your raid party. They have ground. Oh, you are determined, aren't you? Support the class for Mystic due to their fire. They run away and they run around aimlessly while. Okay, they have this really cool AoE Chaos Totem, which is fun to use. This will help reduce incoming damage. They have lots of instant casts. It mostly just changes the flow of battle, the Chaos Totem. It can completely change the flow of battle. They have a lot of instant cast skills for more damage. Con and intelligence are the two main stats to focus on. This class, Mystic, this class has 2 ground placed damage AoEs. Healing Totem, which is a dot heal. is really useful. Some boss fights, it's that consistent healing while you're all running around because of a fear or stunned. It's healing when Radiants can't heal. So Mystics are highly sought after for those healing totems, as well as their damage. Some dots do 2000 damage every 2 seconds. They have party buff that increases physical and fire damage. Helpful for everyone. Job is not everyone, but most. Best solo class in the game due to having tons of heals, great AoEs, and they can boost their HP too with a buff. So that can help a lot, especially in the mid game. Constitution and intelligence are the 2 main stats. Mind is nice to have to support your heals. Cruxinas. I don't know. Cruxina is a genetically engineered race. Genetically engineered race, just the ED there. Made by the Natch during the ancient era. Cute. Just reading your comments. Oh, fine, you can have cuddles. Needless to... During the ancient era, to help the Org and the Coon cheese, mate, and the Bartak races battle the Turin and the Zenoa. The Natch were a strange race that could move between physical and metaphysical worlds. When making the Cruxina, they gave them a similar ability which allows them to essentially go invisible. Needless to say, the Cruxina all have a stealth ability skill, but the rogue job is the most useful since it works on players as well as non-player characters. These jobs differ quite a bit from Turin, but ow! Get off! Don't bite me. I know why you bit me, but the best way to describe them would be cunning, nimble, strategic, soft. Their elemental damage is curse. All Cruxinas will have a Giant as their possession beast. You could outsource to Garnu and get Garnu to write these race descriptions. I'm sure he'd make them quite tasteful. Strengths and weaknesses. There is a lot of variety within this race on play styles, but what is common is that their hit points, HP, are pretty squishy, meaning that late game you will need to have a party to play with. Less true with the Soul Hunters, but if you're not careful you can quickly find yourself back at respawn. The race is popular in game, but I wouldn't consider them as easy to play. I'd probably cut that down to just easy to play. They have a bit of a learning curve to them compared to other races. The Defiler is the main job for PvE because of the crowd control. You didn't write it there, but because of the one or two, I don't know. They've got ground-based AoEs like Tempest and Mystic and Forsaker. Rogue jobs are intended more for PvP. It's not best for your first character. Ironically, everybody tends to make them though as their first character because they're cool. Their equipment is usually very close in price with the expensive Bartak equipment because they're popular, apparently. I don't think so, but you're right though. All the equipment tends to be up there. Group playstyle. As told in the lore, they don't really play well with others and are mostly reclusive to everyone aside from the Bartaks. That said, they do work well in a party. There are 2 buffs from the whole race that can be used on anyone other than the user. One would be a single target movement increase buff, and the other being a party buff that movement. 2 buffs, alright. I don't think they have a movement increase buff. Commander has a movement increase buff. And the other being a party buff that provides an excellent damage increase. Yeah, crit and scad on the assassin buff, so everybody likes it. It's pretty good. as well as the defense down debuffs for melee characters that the assassin gets there. I think the Shadowrunner's got nothing like that, but is more interesting in group PvP because of the silence totem. Silence totem? Silence totem. The possession beast does have a buff. Weakening enemies. Just help. Okay. Oh hey, it's not finished. Alright, so you've still got to write the class descriptions a bit better than for that race. You've done mystics and all that, not yet the assassins. Zenoas. The Zenoa are a highly intelligent race focused mostly on magic, traps, and long-range damage to avoid getting close to their enemies. Historically speaking, they are out to conquer other races. They are very frail-looking and kind of childlike in appearance, but don't be fooled. The Zenoa are complete badasses. Magic classes specifically are very overpowered and provide probably the most unique playstyle of any of the 4 races. Elemental damage is not just one main type. Across this race, every element is used. All Zenoas get Rebria as their PB. I think the PB for Zenoas is also there's a buff in there as well. The Battle Magician job, both excellent choice. The Battle Magician jobs are both excellent choices, but the playstyle is not for everyone. You will have to move around a lot as you fight. More so than with other races because some of the skills require you to be more than 4 meters away. Basically they have a minimum range. Anywhere below that minimum range and you can't use your skills. So it encourages you to kite, and it feeds into the idea that they don't want to be close to their enemies. They hurl their spells up, like vault them in the air like a grenade, and then they land, whereas everybody else just, you know, key blasts their enemies straight in front. It's a small hindrance, but it really doesn't stop the class, because all mage classes typically kite, unless they don't have to, but it is usually more efficient to kite, so... Hunter jobs are situational, and I always tell people to please not play this class first. Not to say you can't play this class as a main, because some people do and they love it. It is just best to play this class after you have established a character so you can compare how slow the job level compared to other classes. Yeah, don't be fooled. You might be shooting your enemies from really far away and pulling them in, but the damage is really poor until you get really, really strong. The style is clunky. The AA for a hunter is delayed. You have to sit still for it to work. You can't just run and jump and kite and shoot. There is a way to do it with your skills, similar to a mage, but you're an AA class typically when you're a hunter. So it doesn't work super well. The most desired Zenoa job for a party would be Elementalist and the Avenger. While Ranger does have a buff that boosts physical damage, the only one left out is the Druid. The Druid has a skill to increase players' defense, so does the Elementalist. Druids are sometimes turned away from raid parties unless they are very strong or in a guild raid. Druids are excellent at PvP, and with a high level of practice they can be quite good at PvE as well because of all the stuns this job can use. And that's it. He's out, he's working on it, he'll be creating more. Do I have anything extra? Okay. We got through it. Woo! How long's my stream? Eesh. Over an hour. Well, I did have to stop for a few things. Okay, Druid, as far as I'm concerned, is the #1 PvP class in the game when played properly and geared up. It's ridiculous. You can get out of all kinds of stuns, you're extremely fast, you can get in and out of combat, you can be a terror in any form of PvP, you can solo any form of PvP, you're really unfair. Druid is like, has all the same sort of nuances as a warlord, while at the same time being an elementalist, for the most part, with having the same ground AoE. So Druid's really good. because it has the same ground AoE as the Elementalist. It's just not quite as good in a party because of all the debuffs Elementalists get. Elementalist gets a HP buff for the party, Elementalist gets the same defense buff, Elementalist gets tons of debuffs. It's really nice to have an Elementalist in the party, maybe even 2 Elementalists. I'm not 100% on exactly how Druid is played, whether at times it's more melee or magic, and I'm getting a phone call. Ah, it's Reed. It's one way to get my attention. Multiple missed calls. Alright, another kid is up. Hopefully one will go down. Stream's been pretty good for the most part. Quality wise, the drop frames are still low. My bits are high. So I'll at least do a little recap here. Yeah, I'm hearing you. Just a few little wording things that, you know, you'll notice as you go through it. You know, finish off the Cruxinas and the Zenoas, and you're done pretty well. So it's the best way to quickly cover all this stuff. No one would know any of this when they first start the game. It's just not clear enough in any of the in-game guides, tutorials, whatever's there. And yeah, maybe super descriptive, maybe some pictures thrown in there, help you with your descriptions. A little bit more information that could be included on some of these classes. A few little mistakes like, yep, strength is the focus of a shaman. It's really good though. This will be heaps better. And as you say, replace your other beginner guides. Hey, I got invited back. I can't accept right now. I'm gonna go do some quests. I don't want to be bothered. Maybe, I mean... Oof, oof, oh, don't crash. This. That's nice. Patty cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Anywho, going to just cruise through my dailies. Yes. No, I haven't fed her yet. Changed my mind. I'll let Mori invite me back. I might bump into some triumvirates. But then again, I'll probably have to AFK and get killed. We'll see if he sees it. Looks like megaphone chat's still mostly taken up with people opening boxes. One downside of Christmas is megaphones get completely... You get lots of megaphones, but they become more useless. Neat. Take us now. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. I ended up turning down the desktop volume for the stream just a bit. The volumes were good and all, but I still want to be a little bit louder than I was. It wasn't bad, there was no ear jarringness, but I think this would just be that little bit better when I'm listening to it. Yes? I figured you would. By the way you asked me. Where is your head? Where is your head? You've got no hair. You've got no brain. You're supposed to be the intelligent class? They should turn these NPCs into bosses. raid on the Grand Light Shrine and just give them the most broken skills. Anyway, let's explore. Okay, blah blah blah. A little bit of that I got linked into. Just catching up a little bit. I should tell people that I'm streaming. That's right. I might not be streaming for very much longer, but... Not sure where you're finding all your snacks, but... Okay. Pretzel. You like your pretzels. Hi. It's a bit steamy in here. I need to set up my hotkeys. Let's see if this still... Okay, see if I can get a little bit further in my dailies. So just to complain and talk a little bit about life right now. Everything that's taken me like a week to do, if I had a whole day to myself, it would only take me half a day. You're that tight for time with 2 kids that are this age. I can't believe I even get anything done sometimes. At least I died. I can work around being dead down here. I need to grab that. That should be one of my... Work on death animations. And try and capture the model in all its glory crashing around. It messed with my shoulders. Probably crash sometime soon. Because of that sort of a visual glitch. Strings are getting messed up. Going off my delt on my left shoulder. The Requiem streaming scene seems a little bit more reduced lately. I will admit it's been harder to advertise. Could just be a time of year thing, it could just be, you know, this month the interest in the game is pretty low. I know part of it's time of day. I'm not talking about just the viewers in the stream, like naturally I've got the 1 right now. Or 2 on average it would seem. I'm talking about my views overnight. Usually a lot higher. Noises like that are exactly why I'm still adjusting the audio, because when you get groups of monsters, they all amplify. If you kill them all at once, the sound gets amplified quite a bit, so in raids, the noise can get pretty horrendous. So it needs to be a comfortable medium to low volume, big in-game volume. Really? I'm so glad you just play by yourself today. Just a little. One day I won't have to do these dailies anymore. It's just filler for my stream, really. There's so many bound items to get up to plus 30 that you just got to keep doing dailies for at least 6 months. If you did them twice a day, every day for 6 months, you'd probably have enough. It does depend a little bit on what forge rates are. Otherwise, I'm still working here and there on my other project. These are all for a block defense project. Block rate. Separate build. These are for another project. Box enchants. They're just the mana ones. You don't need expensive cleverness if you're just trying to recover HP. There is the slight downside of having a reduced HP, like maximum amount. But if you take something off, you put it on, if you're at max HP, it'll increase it, like you won't lose anything. What's another example? This fluid. If you're at max HP and you put this on, all good. Now if I can just take some damage, Hit me with something. Hit me with something real. Okay, you've done just enough damage that I can play with this. So we're below. Equip. See? I need to experiment more with that, where I can take some serious damage. Bye-bye. Thanks. Where's she going? Trying to video. You want a bottle? Bottle? Where's she bottle? I think you're on. Let me see it now. Bottle? Yeah? If I put you on your back, you'll scream, man. Bottle? Yeah, bottle. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Back again to the show that never ends. Oh, Papa. That's not there to distract you. No. You go. Oh boy. Of all the people who come to my stream and like, I don't want to listen to a crying baby. Which is exactly why I have an AFK screen. Boom, boom, boom. That's Albin now, so I have to get on the Wing Rider. Look, I'll hold your hand. I don't think you were ready to get up. Oh, it's T-Rock. Let's give him a buff. You click yes. You're getting everywhere. Like you usually do at this hour. Yeah. Hey. Hey. I wish I put you in a spot where I could get my foot over here. There we go. Now I've got my foot here, stop you from rolling around. Really? When did I hit taps? You surviving? Yeah, my throat's getting worse. I don't know. People can work it out. Hey. A free moment. I can stare at you. Although I am playing during the Australian daytime, that's usually pretty bad for viewership. Like, what time is it in America? Whoa. You're so loud, Papa. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna off the stream after these dailies, just determined to finish. At the moment, my little music videos, last one I did was the Kurt Desert ambience, and so I've got 4 up now. I'm gonna keep working through all of Turbo, because it's just, there's a lot of good tracks in Turbo. They naturally, back in the day when they made the game, put a lot of effort. They put a lot of effort into the new player's experience. made sure the music was really good. So I'm going to continue making them in turbo and just going through them sort of in a manner that would make sense. Like I'll probably do Sanctum next because it's right there. The gutters actually has no music or ambience whatsoever. It's completely silent. So they just didn't add anything. Oh, I could kill them. Ah. I could kill them. I'm not going to. It's all one triumvirate player, more than likely. We're in a GVG, but if I mess with him during 50s, that's so mean. I don't GVG to be mean. I only GVG for fun, and although it would be fun to mess with his accounts, make him pay. I mean, some people who are in the guild might have a go at me, have a minor go at me for not ruining his day, because it's like, you know, that's what they deserve for giving us a 30-day GVG. They deserve every little hindrance to their gameplay. Maybe I should have smacked him. I don't know, PvP is not something I'm super into. Not in the GVG, and I think if I played Druid, if I had a powerful Druid, I could probably use GVG and PvP to its fullest. Gotta play a class that can actually like handle any other class in the game and in group. Hey! Hi you. Bottle? Bottle? Oh. Good start. Let's get you focused on that bottle, kid. But either way, these streams are intended as an opportunity, a space of opportunity for players and new players and potential players who either jump in and go, oh yeah, interesting, give it a shot. Interesting game, give it a shot. Ask questions as I play, and I can portray answers because I'm right here. An initial platform for me to like create some kind of a following, even if it's small. I've got Restream as my provider or whatever, so they split the stream on their cloud, so it doesn't cost me any extra upload speed, and they send it off for free to 2 streaming services like Twitch or YouTube, or many, you know, for everything really. And so I've picked YouTube alongside Twitch, because Twitch is the platform I want to use and have been using. But YouTube saves your videos, so it's literally like just saves me a lot of work. So any extra information that I throw out there, any interesting gameplay, if anybody's like flicking through my videos, which I know they do on Twitch, so I think they'll do it as well on YouTube if they're late to the show. Might learn a thing or two, might find a few tricks. When I do stream, I think it's going to continue to be this sort of a format of, you know, I have a particular goal in mind, focus on that goal. I just wanted to read Fury's new player guide that he's working on. Give him a bit of feedback. It helps to hear it from new ears. It was pretty good. If anybody else has feedback, chuck it in the comments on YouTube or something like that. Be happy to relay that information to him. Next time I stream, it'll probably not be on my main character. I want to do something similar to Fury's guides. I mentioned it last stream. It's going to be like I'm going to play this character and I'm going to, get to level 40 or 50 or something like that. I'm going to obviously show all the different parts of the game. I'm going to show on a new account, no honor levels, no lance, nothing. This is what you can do. This is how you can get from A to B to C. And I'm not going to... It will be streamed, so the quality on YouTube will be the quality of the streams, which won't be like crystal clear. When I do my in-depth guide where I follow Fury's information, I'm going to just do a recording, a higher quality recording, and talk to myself essentially, but for a later audience. And just try to nut that out in a short space of time. Ah, wow! Please don't kill me. Didn't kill you. Yeah, he's gone. They're teleporting around. Maybe? Or they could have just flown from here to here if they went this way. That's not a bad way to go either. If all your characters can fly, you just fly up really high. Come across. Come across, come across. It'd be boring as hell though. I prefer this path for 50s where I get to here and then I come down and around. Because there's a quick teleport between here and there. If you just fly up and die, you teleport. You can also teleport straight to Prison Workshop if you set it as your return location, so you can go straight from Gand Harbour or straight from Grand Light Shrine to Prison Workshop and cut heaps of time. Whee! Nearly done that. And I'm off the stream. Hey. I know. I'll try a few things. We'll try a few things. You do want a bit of that bottle? Okay. That's good. Might give me a minute. We need a minute. Kill this guy and we're out of here. Oh. Here we go. Oh, I know.
Yo.
I might need to artificially boost my numbers on Twitch just to keep it from being too, like considering me too low. It'll help it pop up if there are more viewers in the stream, help reach a few more people. But more importantly, getting me to affiliate, keeping those hours up high. I don't have to do it now, but my partner often does that for me. When she's around and watching the stream, she'll watch it on her phone. So it's a bit of the YouTube, Twitch, new players series. They will be like on and off. I kind of plan to do every character in the game slowly, but it'll be like, yep, for an hour, this is my episode, part 1, per scroll quest, and just, come on. Um. Hey, Papa. I know you really want to play with that microphone, don't you? It's so interesting. It's so interesting. Play with the remote for the first time? Just, what do I do with it? You can chew on it. Like, first class, I'll just play Shaman, because Shaman's just a class I resonate with a lot. It's easy, cruisy little quick playthrough, so something's out there. But when there's an event, like a XP event or a drop rate event or something like that, and I'm like, oh, now's a good time to do like a new series. It could be XP or something like that. I need to turn that off so I can hear things better. Whoa. Say there's an XP event, so I'm like, okay, time for a quick, you know, let's play a crap character, get that over and done with. And it'll be a vague guide, it won't be the best guide, it's not like I'm the best hunter in the game or I'm the best soul hunter in the game, but I can sit there and give a little bit of a, this is your new player experience with this class, and this is how you know, cruise through, and it'll just be a little bit more relevant as the times go by. Like right now, if you wrote a tutorial and you said 2024, that would be so much more relevant to Requiem players of today than a guide series back in 2020 or anything before the relaunch is completely outdated because the gear is not the same. Yeah. Oh boy. Last thing I want to do is just check AH, like I always do. But let's see if I can get away with it just a bit longer, Papa. They don't like it because it's got nothing to do with them. Oh, 30-day tool, 300kk. Bit pricey, but it's hard to get item malls these days, so you kind of have to pay the price if you want it now. That's what I'm talking about, level 40 gear that you can just jump straight into for buckaroo. Oh, there you go. You can play with that. When I get the chair to move. They don't roll very well on carpet. Holy. Rares for 40kk per. That is the wrong price. That is so expensive. What the hell? Reconstructions, about 15kk per. That is also really expensive. See, that's more like it. I think somebody added a 0 to their rares. Like, if that's the price of rares, I need to start selling my rares. Yeah, there's definitely no competition there. You right down there? Up. Ah. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Gotcha, 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 gotcha. Okay, there's really not an awful lot to look at. The usual. It's nice that there's always some newbie gear kicking around. I look forward to making those. Now I do need the keyboard. I'm looking forward to. I can't open that box. I can exit the game. That works. Exit game. Here we go. Looking forward to making these guide series. It'll just be interesting. Like if it's Christmas, it'll be nice to make a guide series. I'll do it next Christmas, and I'll play whatever. I'll save that for like Templar or something like that, or maybe I'll come full circle and I'll make a, you know, this is how you play Shaman as a noob. First time playing the game, Christmas, you know, copy what I'm doing and, you know, get really good really quick. Sort of a bit of a speed run if it was Christmas, because, you know, my goal would be get the lant that I need for more bags, for more cards, you know, that kind of thing. Go, 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 rush, rush, rush. There are different events in the game where it'll just be like, yeah, that'll be, you know, I'll run you through how you can turn the Valentine stuff into valuable land, or the watermelons, and go farm some of them and turn them into valuable land. I don't know. It'll all become cool. I know. It's time to end the stream. Well, thanks if you've come in and you're watching later. I've only had the 1 or 2 viewers here and there, so until next time, it could be a while, knowing me. I'll probably do more work on my recordings when I get the chance. Such a Requiem! Requiem! Abby! I should put you on max camera. There you are. It's Olivia. Who's the baby? Where's the baby? Vaguely looking at it. Where's the puppy? Yeah, you're looking at it. The camera doesn't see it that way. You gotta look up here. Alright. Until next time, guys. Later.